Because after I hit live, I always take a minute to share with everybody.
Okay.
So all good.
Ready.
I'll let you know. Okay, so we're now officially live, and now I'm just always take a minute to share with everybody. I'm just sharing it now.
Is there an extension cord in that wall?
You do not have to whisper. You're so funny.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
I didn't know the sound was that.
You know, us professors have teacher ears. You want me to tag you? Tiffany?
Yes?
You want me to tag you?
You know I don't know what that means. Yes?
Never mind. I got you.
Do all the things, please.
Do all the things.
Yes. Tag me, hashtag, I don't,
And I'm also recording like you asked.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So in about 10 seconds, it'll tag to you. I know you'll see it later when you actually look. And
if I were organized, we could have been putting this on my Facebook Live, huh?
It's already on your Facebook Live because I tagged you.
Oh, is that what that means? So it's going to be playing?
As long as you have your settings, it's going to show on yours because I tagged you.
Whatever you're saying.
All right.
Trust and believe.
And it is shared. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to the Natural We page so I can follow our
Is it on my Wax Plus Flame or my Tiffany Jackson page?
I tagged both of them.
You are a rock star. It's so good you're making me do this.
Huh?
Okay. This will be my first one, then I'll know what to do.
Okay, I got you. And I can always, hook you up. So I got you. Let me just go back to Natural We's actual page. So I can actually, here it is. All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are well. Welcome to Community Hour of Power. This is our last Community Hour of Power for 2020, everyone. Thank you for being with us. I'm so excited to introduce our guest, which I will do in a minute. But first, as we normally do, we start with a brief grounding exercise and mindful meditation, which we will do now. But before we do that, I just wanted to just talk real quick about why we do this. We do this because it's beyond COVID-19. We do this because beyond just 2020 and the year it's been. It's just important to take a moment and be mindful and present in our everyday life, no matter what is going on. It's just a way and an exercise for us to silent our minds. Before 2020, a lot was going on. Before COVID-19, a lot was going on. And it's so important for we as a people to be able to do things that will allow us to take care of ourselves. And in this current moment, so many of us are talking about how anxiety, even if it was already there, it's more. If depression was already there, it's more. If this feeling of angst and being overwhelmed and not knowing what to do is there, it's there even more, to the point where we feel like we can't rest. We feel like we're not allowed to rest, we're capable of rest, when in actuality, rest is one of the most important things that we can do to accomplish our goals, to stay sane, to be who we need to be. And so if nothing else, if you get nothing else from Community Hour of Power, we hope that you empower yourself to take your rest and not feel guilty about your rest, even if it's for 3 days, even if it's just for 5 minutes halfway through your day, and then at night, whatever it is, rest and take a moment to be fully present with yourself and only yourself, your mind, body, spirit, whenever you need to. And so with that, we are jumping into our moment of mindfulness exercise. find a comfortable place to sit in. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open. I always say that because sometimes my students look at me and like, you want us to close our eyes? And I always tell them that I got them, but I also understand because when I'm on the other side, I tend to kind of open my eyes a little bit just to see who's still next to me. But just find a way to center yourself and ground yourself and take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out. And you're going to take another deep breath in and another deep breath out. And continue on with that pattern of deep breathing in and deep breathing out. And as you do that, just listen to my voice, hear the words that I say, not only just hear them, but actively listen to them. And as we are in this moment, I just want us to remind ourselves of how great we are and how phenomenal we are. We are living, we are breathing, and with this breath, we have the breath of God. We have the breath of the divine, the creator who saw fit to have us here. With this breath and in this moment, we remember that God's spirit sings over us, that the creator of everything, of the beautiful ocean, of the beaches, of the sunset and the sunrise, and the lakes and rivers, sings over us and is proud of us and has gifted each and every one of us with talents and purpose in this life. We remember that we are overcomers. We remember that we are beautiful. We remember that we are handsome. We remember that we are strong and classy and patient. And as strong as we are, we're also delicate and fragile. And we are worthy of good. We deserve good. We deserve healing and peace. Bless you. And we deserve rest. And as you continue to breathe out, imagine anything that gives you stress leaving your body, mind, and soul. And as you breathe in, anything that makes you smile and feel joy is coming into you, mind, body, and soul. And so we breathe out stress, we breathe out negativity and worry, and we breathe in love and support. We breathe out negative thoughts and anxiety and depression. And we breathe in healing and power and grace. And we take one final breath out, really, really big out, all the way out. Just push anything that is causing you pain, strife, anything, all the way out. And all the good, we breathe it in. All of our goals, all of our dreams, all of our passions, we breathe it in. All of the support we need, our family and friends who make us smile and feel good and warm inside in this season, we breathe it in. And with that, whenever you are ready, take a final breath and open your eyes. And I hope you're feeling good. Again, thank you to everyone who is watching. Welcome to Community Hour of Power. As I said before, this is our last one of the year, last one of 2020, and it is a special one. We have named this one Ujamaa Community Hour of Power, which is a Kwanzaa principle talking about, it just escaped me real quick, but cooperative economics. I was about to say, I was gonna say purpose. I was like, no, that's me. Cooperative. We're talking about cooperative economics, everybody, Ujamaa, and in that, As we all know, it is very important to Naturally Community that we support Black-owned businesses, not only during Small Business Friday or Black Friday, but every day of the year. We recycle our dollars into our community. And especially during this season, we have so many Black-owned businesses who have wonderful things to where you can have your Christmas gifts and your Kwanzaa gifts and your holiday gifts and things like that. And so with that, today, our guest is the founder, CEO, guru, headshot of Wax Plus Flame, Tiffany Jackson. She is amazing. She is a fashion professor at LA Trade Tech. And I'm gonna let her introduce herself because I can go on and on. So I'm gonna let Tiffany introduce herself in her own way. And there you go, Tiffany.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me. I love that you start with the deep breathing because we're very stressed. This is normally a stressful time of year, and with the COVID and people not being able to connect, physically the way we normally do, it adds some extra challenges. So thank you for that. Breathing is always a great coping mechanism, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, so I am a teacher at LA Trade Tech. I am a fashionista, I'm a garmento, all of those things. And as of late, I am a candle maker. Yay. So I've been doing this for a little bit over a year. So I've kind of found a way to match fashion and fragrance together. And that's kind of where I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, how did you get started making candles?
So I turned 50 and we went on a very fabulous glamping birthday vacation family type of thing. And I was looking for some really kind of unique party favors. I love throwing parties, first of all. I love throwing parties and having a theme and having cool invitations and swag bags and all of that. So I was looking for something that I could give my guests for coming and something that they would actually use and enjoy. And I love candles. I love that. I love when you walk into a room and it smells fragrant and it makes you feel some kind of way. I just like that feeling. So I made my first candles for my party and I fell in love. I love the whole process. I love the designing the label, the mixing the fragrance, the testing, all of that. And I burn candles all the time. So it was a win-win.
That's great. So, what was your first fragrance?
My first fragrance was the one for the glamping trip, and it was like a pine with an ocean breeze because we were outside, and it worked out really well. And when I was trying to think of things that I could do for candles, I thought, how can I make fashion and clothing and candles and wax like all in a jar? So I was trying to go to sleep, and like usual, most times when I'm trying to go to sleep, that's when my brain just starts going like crazy. So I'm at the point now where I keep a notebook by my bed because whenever I'm at rest, my brain, I don't know, it just starts working overtime. So I thought, how cool would it be to have a candle that smelled like clothing that comes out of the dryer? Like when you first take your clothes out of the dryer and they're warm and they smell good, it's like, how can we do that? So then I thought, okay, so what if I did a pair of jeans that smelled like they were fresh out of the dryer? And then I thought, well, why don't I just call it fresh out of the dryer? So that was my first one. And of course, it's my favorite one.
That's the first one.
So fresh out of the dryer. It's got a pair of jeans on there. It smells like Downy. It smells fresh out of the dryer. And because I'm a teacher and a fashion person and I teach costume history, I thought, what can I do for the candle that makes it a little bit different? So on the back of the candles, I have the history. So on the front of the candle, I'll have the item. And then on the back, I talk about Levi's were invented by, Levi Strauss, and what was their purpose and when were they invented. So each one has a little bit of history on the back. So it's like a mini history lesson on the back of the candle about the garment that's on the front of the candle. And it smells like it just came right out of the dryer. So It doesn't get any better than that.
Yes, it does. That's the first one I bought from you.
Yeah.
And well, initially I bought two of them. I was going to give one to a friend, but when I lit it at my house, I decided that I needed to get my friend a different gift. Because that is absolutely one of my favorite ones. So that in all of this, first of all, 50 wear. I don't see it because black don't crack. So, that's all I gotta say. Um, but that's so cool. Just from being able to have a party favor for your birthday, and now, or glamping party, excuse me. And now, what, a year and a half later, you have a whole line. And so you could have easily said like fashion candles or garment candles, but you said
No.
well, hey, uh, that's why I don't name things. I hardly even, title my own papers. I tell people what I'm writing about and say, help me find a title. But how did you come up with wax plus flame?
I had a lot of ideas and I kind of fleshed them out, but there's so many candle lines, and the first couple that I picked actually were already taken. And this was going to be flame plus wax, but then there was something similar. So I flipped it and I searched for it, and it worked. It worked. So I was trying to keep it again simple and straight to the point. So I thought wax plus flame works.
It does work, and you remember it. You
Yeah,
remember,
it's easy to remember. It says it all. It's wax in a jar. You add a flame, and voila.
and you have the whole house smelling great. So, what are some of your other fragrances?
So it's really interesting. So when I first started, I had the denim one, and this one here called Date Night. It took off like crazy. And the interesting thing about the candle is depending on the kind of demographic of the audience, like I couldn't make these like fast enough. And so I thought, oh, okay, that's the one. And then every time that happens, I think that's the one, then something else will take off. So like a lot of the younger ladies like this date night. And the premise was there's 5 pieces that everyone pretty much has in their closet all the time. And for ladies, all of us have a good set of undergarments, right? Or we should. every woman should have a good set of undergarments. And then everyone has what? A favorite pair of jeans. Everyone has a plain
Right.
white t-shirt. Okay, that's another staple. And then every woman has some kind of little black dress. Like it can be any kind of little black dress, but pretty much every woman has that little black dress. So those are the ones that I kind of started with. And as far as the guys, they were like, there's always stuff for the ladies, but there's never stuff for the men. So I started doing some more masculine fragrances. I have one called Casual Friday, and I have a denim jacket. So a lot of the fragrances are very unisex, so they could go either way. This is my latest one. It's called Sentimental Reasons. I keep forgetting that I'm like reverse of this.
You're good.
And it's sentimental because on the front is my dad's pea coat. My dad was issued this pea coat in 1958, and I still have it. I still wear it. All of my girlfriends have worn it. We've been passing this pea coat around since high school, so it has some kind of sentimental value to me. So I'm constantly coming up with new fragrances and new items to show, and it's just exciting. It's just a different way to express my love for clothing and fashion and fragrance.
That's really great. And I'm glad you said that. I was looking at the Peacoat one when you had your pop-up shop, I believe it was. And
Yeah.
I was like, why do I know that coat? So hearing the story and everything, I really love it. That's really beautiful. And I'm excited that you continue to create fragrances and meet the need of your clientele and your customers and consumers, because it's really important. So what is the most challenging aspect of the business?
The social media. So she's gonna laugh because I am not. I am not the social media guru that I need to be. So that is my challenge for the upcoming year. It's just, if you're not in a brick and mortar store and you're doing business online, you have to get down and dirty with this social media. So I'm just going to have to get with it. And it's just very time consuming, and it's a learning for me. Like the younger kids, like my daughters, they grow up with it. They know it. They know they can do everything in like 5 minutes. For me, it's more of a struggle, but I mean, I know I'm capable of doing it. It's just investing the time in doing so. But that's really what you have to do to have a business online, is to be active on social media. So that's probably the biggest thing. The other thing is, fragrances are so very personal. Like you can smell something and it can take you to a very exact and precise moment in time. And it's very interesting when people walk up and start opening things and start smelling them. I've had people, I had one lady cry. Like she smelled something and it brought her to tears. And I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, no, this reminds me of this situation with my sister. And I've had people, oh, this reminds me of my grandmother. And then I've had people say, oh my God, this stinks. It smells like hair grease. So it's like, you just never know what scents are going to resonate with people. And like I said, you'll think one thing is selling and going really well, and then out of the blue, something else will totally take over. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. I like it. I enjoy it.
That's really cool. So, and yes, I did laugh at the social media piece. And,
Yes. This
and
is my
so,
first live interview. See, I'm doing it. It's like my year of yes.
so well.
If you guys read the year of yes, this is my year of yes. So I'm putting
Yes.
myself out there.
And I'm glad that you listened when I told you that you were going to do this by the end of the year.
Yeah,
And
I listen. I listen.
I'm so glad, but I'm also laughing because I was one. I was like, no, I am not doing this social media. I was like, no. I was like, do you live my life? I'm busy enough with social media, but I'm glad that we do it. Because if we hadn't started doing it, we wouldn't have already been ready for doing community hour power when COVID hit and everything like that. And being able to kind of help. Now I'm limited in my knowledge, so you can call me rock star all you want to. The real true rock
I'm not.
star.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. But
The,
look at the beautiful service you're doing with Hour of Power. You're bringing people together. You're helping them cope during this hard time. You're giving them coping skills and breathing exercises, and just sitting down having a conversation. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you, but I must admit that our true rock star is Bose Robinson. She is our digital media
Oh,
marketer, and so for about the first 3 years, or no, yeah, because we're about to be four. So about the first 2.5, 3 years, it was myself and Tim, our associate director, trying to figure it out. Like one day I'd be like, hey, can you post? And he's like, how I post? I'm like, well, this is how I know to post. And we go. And one day I went to Tim. I was like, Tim, we can't do this anymore. We can't. We need somebody. And he's like, well, what are we gonna do? I was like, I don't know, but we need a digital media marketer. Okay, we need somebody to do, because I can't do it anymore.
mm-hmm.
And we got, and this March, February, we got Bose. She was initially going to do just help us out with the hair show before it was canceled. And within 2 weeks, our engagement was up. And I said, can we need Bose? And so now she runs our whole entire social media. She does our Facebook, she does
That's
our
awesome.
Instagram, she thinks of the post, she tells me, she reminds me, she's like, do your video. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, let's do the video. Or sometimes she's like, okay, we need to go to the park and take some pictures and do some things. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, come on, TJ. I'm like, okay. And she, to the point where sometimes my personal Instagram will notify me, naturally, we just did a post. I'm like, oh, what did we post?
Oh,
Or
it,
or, or sometimes my friends would be like, that was a really cool post today. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. But I've been teaching all day. So I'm like, oh, let me see what we posted. Now, don't get me wrong. It sounds like I'm completely out of the loop, which I'm not. She's very good at updating me, and it's like, oh, I'm thinking about doing these types of posts, or and she knows the mission and vision of Natural We and everything. And so I know that it's within, right? But she's really
Yeah.
arguing. So whenever you're ready to meet, both say, let me know, because she
Oh,
is
I will let you
phenomenal.
know.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. But and at the same time, she's also taught me things. So she's also very much so, okay, you gotta learn how to do this one. I'm like, okay, let me
Continue. Yeah, that's important. And I think, when you start a business, usually it's just you like trying to do everything. And I don't do everything well. Like I just don't. But I mean, that's part of growing up and maturing, knowing what your strengths are and doing that, and then having, people around you that are honest and that will help you,
Mhm.
help you grow your business, just like yourself giving me this platform. So I have people around me that say, no, that doesn't look right, or no, that doesn't work. And you need that because you want to put the best product you can forward. And so
Mhm.
when you have people in your ear who are telling you the truth, it just makes it easier, and it makes a better product. And when you're surrounded by people who are, masterful in their skill set, like your media person, it makes a huge difference, because then that's something that you don't have to worry about, and you can concentrate on what your strengths are, and everybody can just do their thing.
Yeah,
It
and
helps a lot.
it's so helpful. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when you first start off, whether it's a for-profit business or a nonprofit, or you can feel like you're just trying to
Do everything.
yeah, and trying to stay afloat. You're like treading water some days.
Yeah.
And then as a teacher, we were just talking about grading and everything. And so in 1 minute you're like, okay, let me grade, let me grade. Oh, I didn't do this for my business, but I got to grade. All right, like or
Yeah.
or there's been times where I'm like, oh, I'm on a good roll with naturally. Okay, then my alarm will go off, like, you gotta teach. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to teach today. Okay. And
Yeah,
you
you have to
go.
juggle it.
Mm-hmm. And so when you are able to get going, it helps when you're able to bring people in on the team and be on board and everything. One of the ways we've been able to do that is because of the support, right?
Yeah,
Cooperative
support
economics.
is everything.
You've been a sponsor of Natural We events and a vendor of Natural We events. And so
Absolutely.
since you've done that,
Yeah.
that is what got us to the level where we were able to get our digital media marketer, because Wax Plus Flame and Natural We understood the importance of cooperative economics and how it helps bring people in. And so we want to be able to continue in that. So tell us more about candles. What have you been doing in this holiday season? Have you been able to sell? What's been going on?
So the interesting thing is I've been able to sell, and I've been fortunate because the people that bought candles before, they keep buying candles, which is lovely. That's what you always want. You always want people to follow and want to purchase more of your items. And I have ideas all the time. So the line is slowly growing. I started with 5 pieces, and then I had the idea to start with another line that I call it the black jar, and they're just photographs. I'm trying to get used to the orientation of the
You got
camera.
it. It flips on Facebook, so just do you.
Yeah, I see that. So they're photographs, and so this one's called Sunday Morning. And the idea initially was, we as African Americans are not always represented in the most positive light when it comes to photography and magazines and the news and all of those things. So I thought, how cool would it be to take some just very beautiful pictures and put them on the jar? Instead of having a candle that says Sunday morning, why not have a young lady sitting in church in a pew with her Bible on Sunday morning? I mean, the photo tells the whole story.
Yeah.
So initially, all of these pictures were of African Americans. And what's interesting is I wanted to have the same label, but just have different ethnicities so that everyone would shop. But what was amazing about this when it first started, my first show, I had all kind of people come. They weren't just African Americans. They were all different nationalities. And I wasn't sure how this line would sell, because I didn't know if different ethnicities would buy candles with Black women and Black men on them. I just really didn't know what it was going to do. And I was just very surprised because people just liked the packaging. It didn't matter that it was a Black person or a white person. They just liked the packaging and they just liked the candle. So it was just a really interesting lesson because you don't know what people are drawn to. Are they drawn to the packaging, the photo, the fragrance? You're not really sure. So that was just a really big learning. So this line is doing really well, and it's going to morph into a line where if you have an event and you want to do a custom candle, we can do that for you. We can put your photo on there, and then you can order that candle for your event. So I'm totally excited about that. And then every time you have an idea, it like breeds a lot of little ideas. So it's kind of an ongoing thing. I have a cousin of mine who travels all the time, and he burns candles all the time. So I thought, how cool would it be to do like a little travel pack? So I worked on that, and in the travel pack, there's a little room spray, and then there's also this candle in the tin.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, and he loves it. So it's in the bag. It's compliant for the airport. You can see through it. It's the correct size. He just throws that in his bag and goes, and he loves them. So he ordered like bunches this Christmas to give away as gifts. So that made me happy.
That's so cool.
And as far as the scents go, I'm getting a lot better in knowing, what customer will like what. And I do some custom fragrances for people that like very specific things like floral, or they just like citrus, or they like musky. It just depends. As I learn their fragrance style, I'm able to mix things for them. And I love doing that. That makes it exciting. So for the holidays, I did a pine fragrance. It's kind of hard to see, but it's got a little pine needles in there. So I have a Christmas scent. It's a very good pine. The candle also has pine needles in there. It smells amazing. But I thought if I'm going to do Christmas, I have to do what?
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have a Kwanzaa package too.
Yes.
So this little guy. Okay, so it's got the beads, the African beads. We traveled to Africa last year, so we brought a lot of beads and things back. And it smells kind of like incense and black pepper. It's really kind of spicy. It's really good. It's a good one. And with that, I also did a room spray. Ooh. So these are like blowing out. And I did these at the last minute because every year or the last year and a half, 2 years, I've had the candles, but I haven't done any type of special packaging. So the pine package and the Kwanzaa package is like, I can't wrap them fast enough, which is what we love. We love items like that. So I've been making those and delivering them all week, and it's going really well. I'm so thankful it was received well, and I love all of the support, including you. I mean, it's just wonderful. Wonderful.
I need the full line.
We'll hook you up, of course.
Thank you. But I'm also gonna buy too, of course. I'll be texting you my order soon. But I'm really excited on how you like. I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit to where you were talking about the lessons, right? And representing us and who we are and everything. And I feel like it's interesting, right? Because you're in this position where you got to sell, and you're a Black-owned business, of course, and you're showing us in the essence of who we are and everything. Yeah. But at the same time, it's candles, and it's not only specifically for us. So navigating that space and towing that line within the society that we live in, and how you've been able to learn from that and navigate that. And I really hope that it encourage you, yes, to, you are representing everybody as you're doing your packaging, but to also keep us at the forefront and see how everything. And I just so excited, and how that grew,
Yeah.
Who you got?
This is the one that everyone loves. Oh my gosh, I'm just like,
you're good. Oh, yes.
And people don't buy it because it's a Black woman. It's just a beautiful photograph. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's like a piece of art. And I love that people feel that way about, about the candle. So they're repurposing the jars, they don't want to throw them away. They're putting pencils and hair clips and paper clips on their desk. I mean, it's just, you never really know, how you intended your product to be used, but then when people start using it in different ways, it's always just so rewarding, because I'm glad you're not throwing that away. I'm glad that you feel like it's worthy of being used as a container for something else. I mean, it just lives forever. I mean, can't get much better than that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great. So how can people buy from you?
Oh my God. Okay, so here comes da 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 da. It's like that part, right?
Yes.
That part. Where is your website, Tiffany Jackson? Where is it? Well, I'm working on it.
You said
it. You can just contact me through Instagram. I have an Instagram page, and you can place orders. I've actually been delivering orders. The situation with this COVID and all of the FedEx and UPS and all of that is so backed up that I've actually just been getting in my car and taking orders to people's homes, just because I'm so grateful and thankful that they're supporting me, and I totally don't mind. I know you want your package for Christmas, so we can just figure out a way to make that happen. But please, please follow me on Instagram, and I also have a Facebook page. So yeah, you just let me know what you want. The actual store will be up this week. It will be just a very basic shell of products so that people can buy and see. As far as the extensive website, that's coming soon, but right now we just need to have a way for people to buy products. So I am working on that all day tomorrow.
Okay, so when you're done, you need to send me the link so we can link it to Natural We's website and Linktree. So we'll put it on our Linktree, and if they so here's a tip that I learned from Bose and one of
I love the tips.
On your Instagram, there's this thing called Linktree that you put in your bio, and it has all of your different links. So like our tutoring form is on there, our fundraising campaign is on there, and then we can also put other things. So I am offering to put your website in our Linktree.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I don't know if I explained it completely correctly, but I think you get what I'm saying. No, I'm
on it. Just like I'm sitting here doing this, I'm out of my shell, I'm out of my comfort zone, but I'm doing it.
Yes.
I'm doing it.
And for those, and you do have some people who have been watching and popping in and out. For those who are watching, I tagged the Facebook Wax Plus Flame on there, and I also put in the comments the Instagram, and then this does continue, so it stays on our page, and we're also in the process of uploading our community hour powers onto our YouTube page. So this will continue to go out and let people know about Wax Plus Flame. This is just so exciting. We've kind of touched on it a little bit, but not really. So I'm going to ask, more explicitly, what is your favorite part of Wax Plus Flame and this whole process and everything?
Like, I am truly creative. I love good design. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a stapler. If it's designed in an amazing way and it's functional, I love that process. I love the process of thinking of, oh my gosh, I think, a little black dress would be amazing. And then shopping for that perfect dress. I take the picture, I do all of the labeling, I do the research. And that's one thing that I wanted to include, because you get an opportunity to learn something, like who made the little black dress popular. If you didn't know that was Coco Chanel, now you know. And now you have a candle that smells like Chanel No. 5, and you've got a little history on the back. So I really like the creative process. I like to shoot the pictures. I like to mix a million different fragrances. Sometimes you think you'll mix something and it'll smell a certain way, and then it doesn't smell anything like that. And sometimes it's good. Like, one of the scents that is selling out is one of these travel fragrances. And I had in my mind, I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to mix this before I forget what it is. I mixed it and I left out one ingredient, but I thought, let me just try it. And who knew that would be like a bestseller. It's really calming and relaxing. It's got chamomile in it, and everyone who smells it, they say they want to go to sleep. Love that. That's what I wanted. So as far as the creative part, that's what I love. That's what I absolutely love. It's like designing a dress and then making the pattern and then sewing it and then wearing it. That whole process of bringing an idea to life is what I enjoy. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I sew and make patterns, because I like to design something, and better yet, to design something that no one else has, and then to actually bring it to life to the point where I can wear it out and be comfortable in it and be seen in it. That's exciting to me. I love that.
That's so cool. So, okay, so now I don't know why it just clicked in my mind. I know that I knew this, but you're a designer.
I am.
You're a designer. Like, I knew this. I knew this. So why haven't we talked about you being a designer as well?
Well, so when I was about 12, I was really tall and skinny. And nothing would fit me right. And it was always embarrassing because my pants were too short and my sleeves were too short. And my mom had a sewing machine. She wasn't fond of sewing, but she knew how to do it. And I started sewing and I took a couple of classes. But what happened is I figured out how I could manipulate the patterns to actually fit my body. And once I figured out I could change the pattern, that was like that moment went off where I was like, if I can make the sleeve longer, I can make it shorter. I can make it wrap around my neck. I can make it, I can make it do whatever. And that's where my love for pattern making started. Mm-hmm. So the design part I love, but the pattern making part, that's pretty much my trade. So when I went to school, I went to a school of design, which is LA Trade Tech. I learned how to sketch a garment, but the pattern making part, where you look at the picture and you analyze it, and you're basically like an architect. So you kind of take this two-dimensional idea and then you create a pattern for it and sew it up, and you have a garment. I fell in love with that part. I like to figure things out. I like to be challenged that way. And that's basically what I did for 20 something years. Yeah. I was a pattern maker. So I worked for several designers, and they would design something and then I would create the pattern. And when I went to school, I didn't even really understand that pattern making was an actual job. Like, somebody actually does that all day so that you can be wearing that sweatshirt and I can be wearing this cool top with this puffy sleeve. Like, who knew that that was an actual job? I didn't know that until I went to school, which is why it's so important to go to school. Like, you think you want to do one thing, and then you get into the design field and there's like 80 bazillion jobs that you've never heard of and you didn't even know existed. And pattern making was one of those. And when I graduated, I started as a pattern maker, and I did pattern making for a long time. And that feeds my creative need. Like, all creatives need some kind of outlet. Mm-hmm. So for me right now, this is kind of my outlet. I've been teaching for the last 18 years. So with this, I have total creative control. I don't have that in the classroom. So I kind of need this to balance me out. Okay. And if it's not this, and I'm throwing some big exciting party with crazy invitations and party favors.
But we love your big party for creative.
It's got to be some kind of creative outlet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love them. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, one day I'm going to message you and text you, and I'm like, hey, Tiffany, my slender and muscular build, need some clothes.
That's how it starts.
I'm just gonna let you know. No, I'll find, I'll travel to Africa and different countries to get the fabric, but then I'm gonna bring it to you and be like, me and my personality, because have fun. I'm just gonna let you know. And then, and then when we have natural read events and like, oh, who designed? Tiffany Jackson of I'm just letting you know. I'm just kind of putting it out there because this is your year of yes. So I need to say yes to that. I need to say yes to that in this year. So in 2021 and beyond, I can remember in 2020, your year of yes, you said yes to making clothes. I'm gonna just let you know.
Yep. Yep.
But this is so much fun because it's also um I talk to my students a lot, and I tend to ask them what is their passion.
Yes.
Um, because so many times we
You
end
don't
up,
know all the time though. Not in the beginning when you're young. Yeah.
but not only that, but a lot of times, teachers go straight to, okay, so what job do you want? Okay,
Yeah.
so what's your career or your research interest going to be? But when we start thinking about their passion,
Mhm.
and the way it lights up, like I know you couldn't see you, but you lit up when you started talking about the pattern making and creative side and being able to have that as an outlet, and
Yeah.
how important that is when we start talking to our students about that as educators, and how it opens up these possibilities when they are thinking about their passion. Like for me, for example, I went to college. I said that I was going to have my own private practice as a therapist. I was
Mhm.
like, I'm going to be a therapist and a psychologist. I'm going to get my PhD in psychology, and I'm going to be a basketball and track coach. Like that, you couldn't tell me nothing. That was what I said I was going to. That is what I came to college to do, and that's what my job is going to be. Then you couldn't tell me anything. And then I was in Africana Studies at Dominguez Hills, and one of the instructors was like, "What's your passion?" And I was like, "To be a therapist and a coach." And he's
Nah.
like,
Yeah.
"No, what's your passion?" I'm like, "To help people." Well, there's a
Yeah.
whole lot of ways to help people, and being a professor, you kind of are a therapist too. And I was like, yeah, right. And here I am in 2020. I'm a professor and natural we and life coach and everything. And how I feel so fulfilled and everything. And so this is great. And all of this just from talking about Ujamaa cooperative economics and wax plus flame.
Yeah, who knew? I think it's important that students remember that college should be a very exploratory experience. I think we all go in with the mindset of wanting to do this, but I think it's important to remember to be open because so many different opportunities and things come at you that you maybe hadn't thought of before. And if you're in a place where you can receive them, it can be like an awesome, awesome thing. Finding your passion is not always easy. Like you may do a couple of things before you find that thing that kind of just makes you feel like, yes, that's what I want to do. So it's a learning, it's ongoing.
Yeah, it is, and I just love it, and I think it's great. And Natural We is excited to continue to support Rax Plus Flame.
Thank you.
And because one of the things that I like about this is that we have been able to cultivate relationships with who we are with. So whether it's Rax Plus Flame, whether it's Sacred Gems, whether it's One Purpose Videos, Sacred Gems with Sandra Lorraine Coleman, and
Mhm.
One Purpose Videos with Damon Jones, whether it's Art by Tay or collaborating with New Providence, I'm forgetting people, right? RBG Academy, all of these different ones that we've been able to collaborate with. I'm thinking of some of our previous guests. We had Candace Henry, who's a health coach. We have been able to maintain relationship with people, and remembering that people is where it's at, and remembering that we're even in a business. Yes, they're buying from you, but we're also serving humanity, and going into
Yes.
it with a
Important.
clean heart and with love. One of the things about your candles is you can feel the love that you make with it, and you can feel the
Thank
passion that you
you.
made with it. Like, so not only is the flame warm, but your heart really is warm. And that is what we're getting at when we say community,
Yeah.
right? We're unifying and we're united because we understand that community and being around the like-minded people. Do we agree on 100% everything? No, but at the heart of the matter, we get it. And that's what's so beautiful. And that's what we hope to continue into 2021. So I'm so excited that you are here as a guest this week.
Thank
And this
you.
has been a great, and this is the way that we want to end 2020, right? This is the way we want to end.
On an up
uh,
note.
yeah, on the up note, it's easy. It is so easy to talk about, oh man, 2020 has been a year, right? Or we can talk about all of the things
That's
that
happening.
happened
Yeah.
that we weren't expecting that threw a curveball. When the truth of the matter is, every year we end up with a curveball. This one's just bigger, right?
And different,
Uh,
just
and
different. We just weren't
different.
expecting this. Yeah.
Right. Um, but what came out of it? Look at all the creatives who have helped us stay sane. Look
Yeah.
at all the creatives who have been able to tap into these different areas of network. I've heard so many stories of yes, we've heard the stories of those who go out of business, but we've also heard so many stories of my business is flourishing, or oh, I tapped into a passion that I forgot about,
Right.
and being able to use that as a way to keep going. 20 natural, we started 2020, and Tim and the board will tell you that I was like, we burn out.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Are we sure we want to keep doing natural we, guys? Are we sure? And my team, I love my team, because they're like, no, we're right there. They're like, TJ, remember you said 3 to 5 years, we're right here. And I was like,
Absolutely.
okay. And then boom, right? We have a food bank. We have community hour power. We have we're starting a wellness program next year. We have tutors this year, and in the midst of a pandemic, we've actually been able to hire a couple people in different scenarios, and be of service to our people, like, and help our people. And so that is the beauty of 2020. That is the beauty of going through the storm and not letting the storm stop you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we
We
are
have to get
excited.
through, and we can, and we
Yeah.
will.
And we will. Like, we are more than well. We already got this. We just have to continue. Like, we, in our minds, we are more than well. In our spirits, we are more than well, and it will manifest in the physical, because we're working on it and we're going through it. And there are ways where we've already seen we're more than well. So this has just been amazing and awesome. And I'm so excited
Yeah.
as we in this hour went by extremely fast. Um, I told you, just
You
gonna
did.
put that out there.
I was like,
uh,
an hour. What am I going to say for an
it was so funny, and I know we keep going back to this year of yes. For those of you who have not read the book, I encourage you to read the book. But
hour?
uh,
Yes. Good. Put it on your reading list for this year. Mhm.
yes, so this particular community hour came about because Wax Plus Flame was having a pop up event. And I lost the card to the one who sells the African coffee, by the way.
Oh, I said yes. I'll make sure I get that to you. And
Thank
my
you.
other girlfriend who does the smudges. Yes, yes, I'll get
Thank
it to you.
you. just sidebar. But at the pop-up, I was like, Tiffany, you should do the community hour of power. And she looked at me and said, what's that? And I told her, she's like, no. I was like, I got you, I got you. she's looking at me. She's like, come on, I'm already on Zoom. I was like, all right. She's like, I gotta talk for an hour. I said, yeah, you can do it. I was like, I'm gonna send you all the questions in advance. Mind you guys, this was like 3 weeks ago or 4.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm going to send you all the questions in advance. Well, yesterday she texted me and was like, where are the questions? I said,
Yeah, it works out. When you're talking about something that you believe, that's in your heart and that you're passionate about, it's very easy. It's like when I teach sometimes, I wake up, I'm like, I don't have a lecture today. But then as soon as, you get in the zone and you start talking, the time just flies because you're speaking from your soul, you
yes.
know, you're speaking from your heart. So I
And that's,
appreciate you giving me that nudge.
I got you. And I give the nudge because people give me the nudge.
Yes.
So, no, please know that as much as I nudge you all, different people watching who I will be contacting to do Community Hour of Power in 2021.
Yes.
I'm watching you guys and your businesses and everything. I'm watching so I can contact you. Please know that I am nudged as well. I'm not
Mhm.
just nudging and not being stretched as well, but it's so worth it.
It
It's
is.
so worth it. Thank you for answering my nudge. And next time I won't send you questions.
All good. It's all good.
um, and going from there. So, do you have any final last words before we wrap up?
I don't. I mean, everyone just needs to do a little woosah, take your time during the holidays and reach out to people. I have a lot of students who really are alone, and there's a lot of people who are alone. They can't be with their family, they can't be with their friends because of the quarantine. But phone calls and Zooms and notes, they really mean a lot, and we have to do the things that matter, and connecting with other people, that matters. It's really important, even if it's a neighbor or somebody who doesn't have a lot of people around to talk to. Just
Mhm.
reach out. People need that right now. So be kind. Always be kind.
Yes, kindness. Remember the heart of the matter and why it is we do what we do. And with that, everyone, thank you so much for joining our community hour of power. We appreciate it. Not only this one, but all of them, all of our community hour of powers that we've had for 2020, all of our guests, we appreciate you. Anyone who is listening, if you are interested in being a guest for community hour of power, please email us at naturalwecommunity@gmail.com. You can message us on Facebook and Instagram. Our number is 424-285-3443. And it's just been a beautiful, beautiful, great year. We look forward to continuing this in 2021. And finally, before I forget, we are in the middle of a We Are One fundraiser, which is our
Okay.
end of the year fundraiser. We have a goal of raising $5,000 by December 31st to really push us into 2021. I stated before, we are starting a wellness program next year, which will be mental health, physical health, and spiritual health. It is all encompassing. So stay tuned for that. We are expanding our Zoom tutoring services, as well as
7
raising
o'clock.
money for we're raising money for RBG Academy next year, and we're just going to continue to do this work. So please take a look at our Facebook, our Instagram, call us, email us, text us. We will answer in regards to how to support our fundraiser. There are multiple ways: Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, Facebook. I mean, not yeah, Facebook, Fundly, and I think I'm PayPal. And again, we thank you so much. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Thank you for our comments. So that was wonderful. Thank you, ladies and Natural We. And with that, have a very, very great evening, rest of the week. And remember that we are more than well. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.